Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week Wisdom and Legacy Building podcast. This is day 523 of our trek, and today is Philosophy Friday. Every Friday, we will ponder some of the basic truths and mysteries of life and how they can impact us in creating our living legacy. Currently, we are on an extended multi-week trek as we explore the teachings of some of my virtual mentors, such as Jim Rohn, Ziglar, and Earl Nightingale. The core of the current trek is based primarily on Jim Rohn's book called The 5 Major Pieces to the Life Puzzle. I have learned a considerable amount from reading and rereading this book on my own trek of life, and I trust that it will benefit you also. Keeping in continuity with Wisdom Trek, I have adapted it to the 5 Trails on Life's Trek. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. We are wrapping up a busy week of client work and podcast-related projects. Since I will be in Arizona all next week, I will be recording several episodes ahead of time so I can focus on the financial aspects of our construction project while I am on site. The next 5 weeks will be a busy time of traveling, along with the extra tax-related work that we need to complete for our clients and for our own companies. There are certain deadlines that have to be met, and we must stay very focused on the tasks that need to be completed. This ties into the topic of our trek today, On the Trail of Activity, as we explore why enterprise is better than ease and why we need to plan a ratio of activity to rest so we do not burn out on our quest and are unable to complete it. If you've missed any of the past few Philosophy Friday treks, it would be good to go back and review them and get caught up on our progress so far. We have a lot of ground to cover today, so let's break camp and continue on this third trail of our extended trek as we cover the 5 Trails on Life's Trek, Activity Part 3. As a reminder, our overall extended trek covers these 5 trails: philosophy, attitude, activity, results, and lifestyle. So let's look at why enterprise is better than ease. If you are involved in a project, how hard should you work at it? How much time should you invest? Your philosophy about the activity and your attitude about hard work will affect your quality of life. What you decide about the correct ratio of labor to rest will establish a certain work ethic. That work ethic, which is your attitude about the amount of labor you are willing to commit to your potential future fortune, will determine how substantial or how meager that fortune turns out to be. Enterprise, or it could be referred to as initiative, is always better than ease. Every time you choose to do less than you could, this error in judgment has an effect on your self-confidence. Repeated every day, you will soon find yourself not only doing less than you should, but also being less than you could. The cumulative effect on this error in judgment can be devastating. Fortunately, it is easy to reverse this process. Any day that you choose to develop a new discipline of doing rather than neglecting, every time you choose action over ease or labor over rest, you develop an increasing level of self-worth, self-respect, and self-confidence. In the final analysis, it is how you feel about yourself that provides the greatest reward from any activity. It is not what you get that makes you valuable, it is what you become in the process of doing which brings value to your life. It is the activity that converts your dreams into reality, and that conversion from an idea to actuality gives you a personal value that comes from no other source. Everything has its price, and everything has its pain, but the price and the pain become easy when the promise becomes strong. In order for your life to be filled with intense activity, you must be obsessed by the outcome, or that is to say, by the promise of the future. The result will not merely support the activity, the inspiration that you get from seeing the results clearly in your mind will enable you to produce those results. Another area we want to look at today is the ratio of activity to rest. With the understanding that enterprise is better than ease, you also have to consider that life cannot be the process of all work and no rest. It is important to set aside sufficient time to regain your strength. The key is to develop a reasonable ratio of rest to activity. The Bible offers this philosophy about a ratio of labor to rest, 6 days of labor and 1 day of rest. Some people may feel that this seems to be somewhat heavy on the labor side. In fact, there are some people in our country and throughout the world who are at odds with even the current ratio of 5 days of labor to 2 days of rest. They would have us to trim it back even further on the labor side and increase the rest period to at least 3 days. You must decide the ratio that best reflects the reward that you're seeking, remembering that with diminished labor comes diminished rewards. If you rest too long, the weeds will surely take over in your garden of life. The erosion of your values begin immediately whenever you are at rest. That is why you must make rest a necessity and not an objective. Rest should only be a necessary pause in the process of preparing an assault on the next objective and the next discipline. The punishment for excessive rest is mediocrity. The Bible gives us the best example of a proper ratio. Even from the creation of the world, God performed his creation activities in 6 days and then rested on the seventh. Genesis chapter 2, verse 2 says, "On the seventh day God had finished his work of creation, so he rested from all his work." God does not need the rest himself, but we do, so he gave us his pattern. We need to take advantage of the 6 days of focused work and then take a complete day for resting and re-energizing. Exodus chapter 34, verse 21 is one of the several verses that lays out the proper ratio of work and rest. You have 6 days each week for your ordinary work, but on the seventh day you must stop working, even during seasons of planting and harvesting. We are deliberately taking our trek slowly on the 5 trails on Life's Trek as we continue to hike on the trail of activity. Today we learned that enterprise is better than ease, but we must also establish a proper ratio of activity to rest. Next Philosophy Friday, we will continue on the trail of activity, and we will explore the danger of seeking shortcuts to success, and that change begins with choice. Join us next Friday for these additional insights. I know that you'll find these insights interesting and profitable in living your rich and satisfying life. Our next trek will be Monday as we continue on our new series called The Tools in Gramps' Backpack, where we will equip you with the tools needed to impact the lives of others. So encourage your family and friends to join us, and then come along with us on Monday for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. If you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks or read the associated journals, they are available at wisdom-trek.com. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend, as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you on Monday.